In the fall of 2013, individuals and organizations dedicated to clean water protection embarked upon an unprecedented journey down the Tigris River in Iraq. A river that once nourished the birthplace of civilization, but today remains partially destroyed and under significant threat from years of pollution and political neglect. The ambitious journey, a flotilla of traditional and modern-day boats, celebrated the recovery of the river thus far and brought awareness to the group's mission to continue to protect these precious waters of Mesopotamia. Their flotilla down the Tigris began in southeastern Turkey and continued through Iraq to the southern Mesopotamian marshlands. Every phase of the journey was an opportunity to witness this historical waterway firsthand, collect water sample data, and connect with local communities to bring conservation issues to the fore and enable people to take action. Despite immense challenges and obstacles, the month-long expedition was a success. It raised greater awareness about the threats to the Tigris River and brought global attention to this one-of-a-kind ecology. The journey began in Hasankeyf, Turkey, where we gathered with a community of supporters to hold a press conference.
This river not only brings life to southern Iraq, but it brings also connection between the people of Turkey and the people of southern Iraq. Our goal is to bring with this message a message of peace, a message that we are interconnected people, that we have to live together in this for the sake of our children.
From there we set out. It was time to launch the flotilla vessels, most notably those that were painstakingly built and that had become symbols of our achievement in honoring tradition, rekindling a century-old art of traditional Iraqi and Turkish boat building. 3 different vessels were built: a Terra, a Guffa, and a Kell. Each had a unique place in history and were central to how the region's ancestors traversed along these same waterways. In Mesopotamia, only a few people remain that have mastered the skills to build or maintain traditional boats. These skills are poorly documented and handed down only orally. So building them today was a nearly impossible endeavor. The treasures of Mesopotamian boat building that have accumulated over the centuries were almost lost to history. But the Tigris River Flotilla organizers were able to commission master boat builders who knew the trade well enough to spearhead construction for the event.
This is Farhat Argun of Hasankeyf, who has taken on the construction anew of a Hasankeyf kelek, according to traditional standards.
But to earnestly honor tradition, they had to be built using only authentic materials. And they had to be functional, ceremoniously carrying people and cargo along the entire flotilla, much the way they did centuries ago. The first was a 10-meter-long Terra. The Mesopotamian marshlands of southern Iraq are the home of the Madan Marsh Arabs, who have a direct ancestral link to the peoples of ancient Sumer. Their sheiks once traveled the rivers and wetlands in these long, graceful Tarada canoes. The Tarada is a bitumen-coated reed canoe, with large iron-bossed nails studding its flanks. It's constructed out of wood, consisting of a skeletal frame with outer planks. To build the frame, craftsmen first had to precisely measure and cut sections of wood that form the delicately shaped frame. The design of the Tarada requires that long pieces provide rigidity but remain flexible enough to bend to the slight curvature yielding its pointed ends. Smaller wood pieces are whittled with hatchets and carved to a smooth finish. Several pieces are joined to form ribs along the frame. The Tarada begins to take shape. Once the outer planks are attached, edges are carved to size, all the way to the precise point of the upper arching tip. The long, majestic shape of the Tarada is by far the most elegant of the three boats constructed. Our builders took no shortcuts and finessed the build to an attention to detail that appropriately honors tradition. The Guffa, believed by some to be the oldest vessel in the world, was designed to carry both passengers and cargo. Guffas weren't designed for speed nor seaworthiness. Rather, the design yielded the greatest possible cargo space with the most economical use of materials. This is important because in some cases, particularly on the Tigris, the Guffa is abandoned after one long river voyage. The Guffa is constructed using only sticks of pomegranate and straws for the frame, and a tar resin pitch for the waterproof coating. Materials readily available at the time these vessels were first used. To begin the process, several sticks and reeds of straw are plucked from the fields. They're the only material sourced, as, amazingly, the Guffa is constructed entirely from the weaving of straw. The weaving process is a feat of engineering, even by today's standards. And it's done entirely by hand. Two builders share the artful and meticulous task of weaving, taking days to complete. The Guffa's basic bowl design begins to take form. With the Guffa fully woven and stitched, tar resin is applied to the underbody to form a thick waterproof coating. After several coats and drying cycles, the Guffa is complete. It carries a few of us gently down the river. Amidst modern-day surroundings, the Guffa is a stunningly accurate recreation of the original. The Kell is a traditional vessel used for downstream transportation on the Tigris. It's a large raft made of strong reed or wood for the frame, and goat skins for a waterproof coating. Kellex could carry extremely heavy loads, such as several men and donkeys. The loaded rafts float down the river with the current, with enough speed to travel from Mosul to Baghdad in as little as a few days. Kellex were particularly useful in parts of the river with rapids and shallows, because, despite the loss of some of the skins, the rafts were strong enough to keep afloat. The building process begins with the waterproof coating, made entirely of goat skin. Our master boat builders begin prepping the skins in a meticulous process that is as time-consuming as the construction of the boat itself. They bring skins they've collected to the river shores to clean and scrub the skin bare. Returning, the skins are further cleaned and inspected. Ends are tied off to form a bladder that can be filled with air, allowing further cleansing. Finally, the bare skins are soaked in pigment dye and hung to dry. Meanwhile, other builders have gathered reed and wood that are cut to size for construction of the Kell's frame. Corners are notched for strength, then tied or nailed together. Several wood poles serve as the vessel's flooring and walls, tied together with thick twine. The design of the Kell is basic, a square deck with walls, but the construction is complex, ensuring that the raw wood and goat skin alone can provide the strength and stability needed to carry the heavy loads required at the time. Now complete, the Kell is ushered into the water for its voyage down the Tigris. It joins the other vessels in a regal display of authenticity. We knew that to experience the river authentically like this was our chance to understand what the river was saying to us. The slow, methodic pace gave us a chance to connect to the river in a way that local communities have for centuries.
It's really actually unbelievable to move from an idea to doing it. What, 2 years? 2 years in the planning. Feels good. Say hello.
Just back up.
Do something cool, Nabil. There you. I'm gonna miss you guys too.
Though our original plan was to row, paddle and float the entire way, dams and other blockages, security concerns, and visa and permit hassles periodically force us to load the boats into trucks and skirt the most difficult portions of the river. Challenges like these were a reminder to us how similar problems have stymied attempts to protect the Tigris. Protection of this river, one of two that gave life to ancient Mesopotamia, remains crucial to nourishing modern Iraq. Industrial and urban pollution, inefficient irrigation practices, and badly damaged infrastructure in Iraq all have led to the current state of the Tigris. On the river, we met with a wide range of interested stakeholders who would often meet us in boats, talk, and occasionally ask to race. Off-river, we conducted presentations and spoke to national and international media to raise awareness about the state of the river and raise questions about its future. Each of us shared the workload to ensure we were making headway. The work to traverse this river was exhausting at times. But also very peaceful. The periodic sampling provided a rich database to help tell our story about the condition of the Tigris. At least once a day, since passing through Baghdad, we hit a point where it's obvious there's raw sewage flowing into the water. Local residents tell us they're seeing far fewer migratory birds and catching far fewer fish than they had in the past.
To get across to that side of the river, and I would suggest we do that first. And I would also suggest that we stay close to shore, given this wind. And if I whistle, come a running.
After days of paddling, now well into Iraq, we became fully immersed in the beauty of this majestic landscape. Our stays on land were a way to replenish our energy and connect with the local culture. We arrived at the intersection of the Tigris and Euphrates in southern Iraq, a full month after we set out, marking the conclusion of the Tigris River Flotilla. As we floated into the riverside, we were greeted by an excited audience filled with supportive community members who sought to celebrate our journey and proclaimed the importance of the Tigris River. It was the last of a series of our experience and events stretching the length of the Tigris, across 2 nations, in 6 cities, and over 1,200 kilometers of river. The flotilla became our grand achievement in the effort to raise awareness in local and international communities about the river's rich cultural and natural heritage. All told, construction of these 3 authentic vessels took months of work and coordination among dozens of builders and organizers. To those involved, they've become worthy of considerable pride. To all who witnessed the flotilla event, their role marked an unbreakable link to history and a spectacle of mankind's enduring and interdependent relationship with water. As for the conservation efforts to restore the Tigris, it has sent ripples of hope to the world and inspired local communities to follow suit and become stewards of their own waterways.